cut it short, man. I'm way too excited for that shit. Get that out of my life. The band's back together. Everybody's in the house again. This is so great right now. My boy Numi, biggest winner over the weekend, did the lifetime lunge, as I like to call it. You know, his knee got a little shaky, dropped down to the ground there, touched a little dirt, and presented a ring to his old lady. And now they're gonna be put together in holy matrimony. I will be officiating that ceremony. Or no, and then some other big winners for the brigade here. Nesboy taking down the goal line stand for the second time this year. Big shouts there. Eagles, long-time grinder James putting in max volume all the time and everything, takes down the BR. Just great to see someone who puts in so much work get rewarded. You love to see it. I've offered him to do a winner's circle and that sort of thing. We're gonna have to do a special winner's circle show coming up, involving a lot of the people who can't do daytime soap opera television time slot with us. I know that I was inverted. I've reached out in the past. It doesn't really work for him in daytimes. James the same. So hopefully we can do a little something, maybe mix in a night stream and get some of these deserved winner's circle winners on the program. What's good, gentlemen?
Yo, Numi, big congrats, man. That's awesome. I bet it was great. How was it for you?
Thank you, brother. Yeah, no, it was the trip out there was, if anyone just is in that area, Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, we literally raced a storm after getting in an accident, and then raced a storm, and then got into the storm again at the end of the night. So a 14-hour trip took 21 and a half hours. We left at 3 a.m. our time and got there at 10:30 Mountain Time, which would be 11:30 Central. So maybe I'm totally off on the hours. I'm at 21, but it was a long time. Like, it was near, I was wrong on hours, but we were driving forever. Anyway, we got there, and then it was the 8th coldest day in Denver history. So we literally left Minnesota to negative like 21 degree temps, and then like 2 days the next it was like, oh, just wait 2 days, it was literally 55 degrees. But yeah, I couldn't wait any longer. I was gonna do it Christmas Eve, but we went to this light garden, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I put on my
in a hole in your pocket.
Yeah, I have a thing with the family, like when we do a bunch of things and it's cold, and then like my mom always likes to take pictures. As a kid, I'm always just like, come on, like let's just like I throw a temper tantrum. I threw my fake temper tantrum to try and throw her off because she got her nails done. So like she knew something was coming up, but I'm like,
yeah, that's what Bria said. She saw the nails were done. She's like, oh, she knew something was up.
Yeah, she had an idea.
Christmas nail done.
Like, yeah, that's what you tried to throw it off as, but no. But yeah, so we got in this little it was like a little light, like I don't know, just full of lights. It was like little surrounded. I'm like, yeah, this is the spot. So I popped down, asked a question, and like it was literally negative degrees. She had gloves, and she did not put them on for the remaining like 20 to 30 minutes of the walk. She's just looking at it. I'm like standing there freezing, and she's just like, yeah, like this is awesome. Like this is all great. She's holding the hot chocolate. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, it was a crazy song. I will say I did some volume, like barely. It was my least volume. I had no idea. I had no idea that Eagles won because I just was not following. Like I was team. Don't even know what a sweat is this weekend because I was barely looking at my phone. Yeah. So all of a sudden, so congrats James Eagles. That's amazing. A little late to that, but yeah, that's fucking awesome. And then our boy Nez coming with the 216. We could say 1/8 of a goal line stand, taking it down for the entire year, but that's just crazy.
Yeah, man.
I did say on the last stream before this, I was like, hey, if I hit 2 out of 2 GPPs a year, I guess if that's how I'm gonna make my earn my bankroll, like I wish there were more consistent ways of doing it, because
that's the way of the road, though. I told you when I was like listening to your stream, you're like I don't know if I could do this. I'm like, that's the GPP mindset. Like, you don't know when your wins are going to come, but you're just confident that if you continue the process, they're going to come. Like, that first win could have not came until next week. And you could have just had your weeks be 16, 17. And you're sitting there like, oh my God, am I a god? And then week 18, you're just putting in the most volume because it's like back to back. So it's an interesting game we play. But yeah, let's talk us through this there, Nezzy.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Shout out Eagles, obviously friend of the show. at the guy that gave wow.
Numi's way. Big congrats
That's
coming
good.
in Numi's way.
That's good.
Yeah, Nez,
Appreciate
the
it,
king of
fellas.
the goal line stand, second time champ here.
I don't know, man.
A Kirk Cousins with TJ Hawkinson stack, Saquon Barkley on the bring back, a one-off CD Lamb. Oh, double bring back. Richie James on the bring back there, and then a one-off CD Lamb, one-off James Cook. Little deep dive there.
Yeah.
Leverage, good stuff.
Yeah, really wanted that that Minnesota Giants exposure. Trusted what I was seeing in projections. Trusted that the weather was going to be an issue elsewhere. So I leaned into the chalk there. And one thing that I really wanted too was I thought Buffalo was going to score a lot of points on Chicago. I just wasn't exactly sure how. So I mixed in some Singletary and James Cook in these drafts. Felt really good about James Cook and got lucky with that long touchdown. But I just wanted to have exposure to anybody playing the Bears. And I just thought that if there's anything that's weatherproof, the Bills for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But CeeDee Lamb having a hell of a day obviously helped. It's funny, man. Every time I win, it's CeeDee Lamb and TJ Hawkinson are involved. They were they were in my winning lineup the first time I won as well. Kind of funny.
Is that the recipe? Is it draft 2 of 6?
Hawkinson was a lion the first time it happened, but hey, I'll take it any way I can get it.
Yeah, he was balling out. That was fun.
Really nice lineup, really sharp lineup. 4 pieces of what would have taken down the other contest in the and I really like it because it confirmed all our priors in the article. We wrote up that Minnesota and New York game. We wrote up the indoors of the Minshew Mania game. We were all over those two. Richie James was cash game viable on DK as a spend down option. So very similar to your Mac Hollins play. We get someone who's projecting well, who's a spend down option, who's also a spend down option on this site, and you get them in there. And then the James Cook was exactly what we wrote up in the article about Singletary, where, hey, there's going to be points scored. They're bad on the ground. What if the leverage is just being the running backs and you don't need the Diggs Allen stack? You need the leverage one-off. We wrote up Singletary. James Cook applies in the same vein there. Beautiful, well-constructed lineup. Great team. You love to see it.
I got absolutely dusted in the main BR, so this was sweet.
Nice. There you go.
One thing I want to say is it confirms my priors when I keep talking about the contest selection and how they differ. You literally did. You put 4 pieces into one game and said, I'm gonna bank on this being right, and then getting the other. Obviously, you needed the other pieces around it. But in the context of porting DFS over, it's just, when you drop down drastically in contest size, what is it? What does the goal line stand now? Like 1,500, 2,000?
No, 3,000, I believe.
3,000. So I mean, still 50,000 plus drop from the BR to goal line stand. The strategy of the contest changes. Granted, it's 12 man versus 6 man drafts. Still, you're just you know what? I'm already loading up on this game. I'm expecting this to hit, and then getting that Richie James piece. I think most people would maybe stray away from that. They're like, I got the single, I got Saquon. Now let's get a mini and figure it out. You're just no, I'm going to keep going on that game. And I like that.
Thanks. It's nice. It's nice when the game stack hits. Also, real quick, John, if you want to go to the flea flicker dose.
Yeah, I didn't get any of the stuff in. I played very little.
Dark Sheep, number 1.
Love it. That I didn't realize it was our contest.
Let's go.
He won one. Yo, big shouts, Dark Sheep. There you go.
Yeah, love to see it. Building that MLB bankroll soon.
Come.
Look at this, just Smashville on all the wide receivers right here.
Isn't that crazy?
Beautiful.
Hell of a team.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to die on this hill that I know TJ Hawkinson broke the slate and Kittle broke the slate a little bit. I'm going to die on the hill of that week that Taysom Hill was the best play on the slate, period. I honest to God, the weather, the conditions, the way it was, and then they bring him in for a whole series where he plays quarterback and he just gets 5 rushing attempts. He gets 68 yards or whatever it was and a score. And then they just abandon it. What are we doing? Just leave him in there for the entirety of the game. Give him 20 carries and just let him run run like an old school wishbone offense, and let them go all Army versus Navy on this football game, right?
That's
like
Dennis Allen to a T, man. There was a quote. I'm
fuck
pretty sure
me.
he asked, like, Kamara was like frustrated with his third down like attempts, basically, or like
Yeah.
play on the field. And Dennis Allen was like, "Yeah, I don't know why he's not on the field. Like, I don't know. Like, he just doesn't know." Basically, I'm like, "Are you the coach? Like, what do you mean you don't know why your best player is not on the field on third down? Like, what are we talking about?" It was that's so funny.
So Eagles had the Dak CeeDee Lamb stack, no bring back, and then just slammed the other game environment. So again, the two game environments we love the most on the slate. He went with the Saquon, Jefferson, and Hawkinson from that game. He went with the stack of Dak plus CD, and very interesting here, he gets the T. Higgins one-off, and that was the big differentiator because the lineup that finished second, third, and fourth that was duped 3 times was the exact same lineup as his, except for quote unquote more logically done with the bring back piece of Devontae Smith. So I thought it was very interesting that we saw. Oh, it had Cousins
It
instead of Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. But that was like the more logical, like in quotations, one, right? And you know, it's just interesting how like there's no substitute for volume in that regard right there.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the only way you're going to get to this is if you're building 10 teams, this is a very pretty team that everyone who finished second through fifth built, right? Like it's so pretty. Look at all the bringbacks and the correlation. This makes a lot of sense. But like the only way you get to the team in which James had is if you play a bunch of volume there, right?
Yeah. It's big. Yeah. It's probably the biggest edge you can have in these contests is volume.
The golden rule, man. The golden rule, no substitute for volume. And I've been slacking the last 3 weeks, but I'm back, baby. I'm back. Actually, the one that I told you guys, but I didn't say anything on the stream and whatever. The one that I tilted the hardest, that I wasn't watching any on Christmas Eve night, but this Jacksonville, this contest here, I was unblocked in 5th, unblocked in 8th with the nuts from the night before. One team has Devontae Adams, one team has Josh Jacobs. And it was just like, all right, pick your poison. Don't care. I'm going to win no matter what here. And both of them have their worst games of the season. And I just get passed by everybody. And the nuts from the night before doesn't really matter. And you needed a bunch of Hunter Renfrow and George Pickens and Najee Harris from this game instead of what I deemed was the nutted combo. I was like, that was one of those ones where it was just like, all right, man, like whatever. I looked before the game, I looked after the game, and I was just like, okay, sure, whatever.
That's so tough. That is just so tough. I would have never thought that like the Steelers could shut down 2 alpha plays like that, but here we are.
Yeah, range outcomes, right? I mean, the wind was blowing sideways. It was snowing a bit, I think. Yeah. Anything else to add from last week, gentlemen? Any no, some good teams there. Oh, one more. Crash Rich hangs out in Pete's channel a little bit. We see him all the time on here. I think it was this late one. Yeah.
Damn.
Dupes himself and takes it down.
Wow.
Love it so much. Oh my God.
Up there in 4th too. Shout out.
Yeah, you love to see that.
Hell of a day.
Yeah. Just beautiful. Dupes himself with like not even
Cam
what
Akers,
you would
man.
deem, not even what you would deem like the nutted build. He dupes himself twice with a Baker double of Cam Akers and Tyler Higbee, and then just fills it in. Dupes himself twice. I loved it so much. I see this and I'm like, fucking the GPP bros, baby. Score one for us.
Yeah. Finally. Only took all season.
Yeah, so fun. Okay, I want to touch on, before we jump into this week's slate, I want to touch on this whole pods thing. There's for anyone who's been following the old Twitterverse the last 2 days has been blowing up with the pods. What how does the BBM3 format how do these pods come to be? and it's natural. It's natural. It's very understanding for someone who puts up 148 points and finishes fifth in their pod to then look at somebody else's team who advances with 147 and be like, oh, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, how'd I get in this pod, right? And then they relate and they internalize the narrative and they make it about them and they go, hey, man, I run so bad. Why was I in this pod versus this pod? And then they question the process behind it. One overarching thing I just want to say is I think people, they want to trust and then see until a point, and then they want to see and then trust, right? And if I'm going to relate this back to poker and stuff like this, when online poker, if we compare the infancy of this best ball startup area with the infancy of poker in like 2004, something like this, right? There were big players in that space making a lot of money. Ultimate Bet, Absolute Poker, all these ones, all of them are gone. All of them are dead. All of them are gone. All of them had cheating scandals on the back end. All of them had super users that got exposed later. All of them had card distribution. Now, if we understand that a lot of people who lived through that, or at least lived through the Black Friday of Full Tilt Poker, because there's so much crossover. It's not just me, between the poker, the DFS, and the best ball communities. They have lived through that. Then they've lived through Black Friday, and they go, hey, man, I want to trust you. It has nothing to do with your company. It has nothing to do with Underdog or DraftKings or how the structure is. And it has everything to do with, man, I've lived through this before. I've been fucked before. Show me how it happens. Yep. Show me what it is. And then we'll go from there. And I think it's a reasonable request. And I think from both sides, it's very, very reasonable for Underdog to just be like, hey man, it's an algorithm. It's so fucking boring that we've never even thought to share it before. You know, it's like, it's so boring that, hey, you win a pod, you get randomized and you get put in another pod. And it's just an entirely matching algorithm that is like so rudimentary that it does not even matter. Right. And I totally get it from Underdog. They're like, yeah, why would we even want to share that? Right. Yeah, and then now there's like a little bit of demand for it. And to be fair, where the conversation all stemmed from was a good DFS player, Saul Goodman. I think he's primarily really good in the NHL streets. He kind of just threw out a tweet, and it's not accusatory, it's not anything. It's just, hey man, how do these come to be, right? Like how do these pods come to be? How do the groupings come to me? First of all, why do the pods exist? The pods exist because there would be way too much overlap in ownership if you just took the top 100, right? There'd be basically no random element of chance in the playoff structure. So pods existing, in my opinion, are a very good thing for like the contest structure, right?
Yeah, you need sweats. Is the thing. Like there's different format. Like if you don't like the Underdog format, then go play on drafters, because part of the fun is that like you have random pods and that helps with the diversity of the finals as well, because otherwise if it wasn't, if we didn't have pods and we just had like the best players like in like advancing like across all drafts, then everybody's team's going to look the exact same.
It becomes a 1v1 for $2 million.
Yeah, and that's why you can't just do the top scores advancing. Like it takes away from the randomness is part of the excitement. And I mean, if you didn't know this tournament was luck the last 2 years, like I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what you thought you were playing. This is a very much luck-based game, and that's where volume comes into play once again. That's where you get incentivized to max enter, because you want to have as much good variance on your side as possible. I think that's part of it. One thing that Rudman has talked about already is like they're 100% doing away with the regular season $1 million up top. That's not to say that they won't do some sort of regular season reward next year, but as far as just that single person having $1 million for scoring the most week 1 through 14, he said that won't be happening next year.
I missed that.
So they are definitely going to be taking into account that, how do we improve this? And on like the pods are purely random. Like it is what it is. And, whenever you get a bad matchup in your fantasy football league at your home league, that's bad luck too, and that's part of the game. That's keeping little traditional fantasy football in there. I mean, I'm personally team pod. I didn't make any finals. I had some good teams. But it is what it is. I mean, it's a really tough game.
I agree with that. There's one thing that's just like to bring it back again, like just because how I love like the macro shit. Like when there's lots of money on the line, or people who are unaccustomed to losing like chunks of money. Not to imply that Saul Goodman is this at all. I'm just kind of speaking about like a macro level idea here. When there's a bunch of money on the line, people do like weird shit, and they think through weird shit that they think matters that doesn't actually matter, but they need to like see it for themselves. So you see it with like guys playing like poker games at a live casino. They'll be like, "Oh, I want a dealer change. I want a deck change. I want the cards changed," and like stuff like this, or like people playing blackjack, dealer change, like stuff like this. None of this affects the outcome of the game, but when they're losing money, they're thinking about it like, oh, this dealer's fucking me, right? Like at like this rudimentary level. So I can see it from like the mindset of like the regular average Joe consumer being like, oh, I'm getting so screwed again. Look at my pod versus somebody else's pod, right? Like, and that's where transparency comes to mean so much. So I think transparency in, I mean, I'm not saying like host a World Cup draw selection show. You know what I mean? And they're pulling numbers out of the ball and, oh, Eagles team 4 is pod 3. Like, like I'm not talking about something like that, but I do think people want to see the back end a little bit. And I think one part of this with everything associated with Underdog that we've talked about in the past is that the popularity of the platform has outgrown the tech stack before the tech stack can catch up. I think that's happened in some regard with this, with just Underdog as a whole, is they have a very smooth, beautiful interface of like what the platform is and what it looks like. But I do think they are playing catch up on the back end a little bit, because they're going like, holy shit, we've grown so fast. And there's so much demand for, ownership numbers. And there's so much demand for, all these other things that they're prioritizing, that this isn't even on their radar until a situation like this arises and it gets called out. And then all the internet in our little pocket of the corner of the internet is talking about it, right? Like, would you, if I'm CEO of Underdog, I wouldn't have thought to been like, hey, I'm exposing how our pods are made, right? Like, you're not thinking about that until you're asked, right? Mm-hmm. So do I think there'll be some transparency in the future, and they'll be like, yeah, this is the boring ass matching algorithm that we use. Yeah, probably now. And I don't think they're afraid to show that, because I don't think they have any vested interest in, would they prefer if influencer Pete won versus Joe Schmo in Wyoming? Yeah, probably. Would they prefer if single bullet Steve in Nevada won and it was his only team and he went from living on the street with $10,000 of debt to $2 million winner so they could pump that story? Yes, of course, right? But do they have any vested interest in who wins this contest? No. And to assume they do, come on, like, it's just stupid. And I'm not implying that Saul's implying any of this. He asked a very interesting question, and I agree with the line of thinking behind his question.
Definitely.
That hey, just saying it's random does not cut it when there's millions of dollars on the line. right? And
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think they'll definitely like learn from this and take note. I mean, like you said, I think the popularity kind of outpaced everything else that they have going on, because this is still a company that is, from what our understanding is, still sort of ran like a startup, because they don't have a ton of employees, as far as what they burn their money on and spend their money on. Like, it's not necessarily top of their priorities to make sure that like the people complaining on Twitter know that the contests are fair and square, because they know that they're fair and square. So they don't have to make that a priority for them. So, I understand the like where they have to be particular about where they spend their time. I think any more transparency, the better, obviously. So we'll see what they do.
I got one more little analogy. When I was playing like online tournaments, a whole bunch of stuff like that, and like, the way in which your table gets selected is entirely random, right? Like, you join a tournament and you just arbitrarily get seat 4 at table 60 or whatever it may be, right? When people wind up on these online tables and they're seated immediately adjacent to a pro or something, they're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, I run so bad. This is bullshit, right? But if you're at a live poker event and you're at the World Poker Tour and you're wearing the sponsorship shit on your shirt and they got sat beside you, oh my God, this is so cool. You're a site pro, blah, blah, blah. And it changes the narrative because they're like, it's not rigged. We're in real life, right? It can't be rigged. But if they're playing online, they're like, oh, look at this. It could be rigged. I'm beside a pro again, right? You know what I mean? So it just changes people's mindset a bit when like the shit is just like, yeah, here, this is Willis brings up the perfect. I got auto matched with Levitan again. This is bullshit. It's the fucking perfect thing ever. It's the Pete intro. It's exactly what it is. And it summarizes it so perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. We cool. We buried that one. Pods in general.
I just wanted to definitely like bring that up because I am like pro pod and obviously like not throwing on my tinfoil hat over this shit. I think we all need to just like take a deep breath and, maybe a lot of people had their first big sweats and like, doing these tournaments. I know I did. This is the first time I made the semifinals. And now actually I'm glad I didn't, because my most live team had Tua and Zach Wilson at quarterback. Tua just got all but rolled out. So if I would have made it to the finals and then had Tua going, I would have been so freaking tilted. It would have just been the worst.
Cam Akers and Tyler Higbee bounced 3 of my teams by 3 points in 2 of them. Yeah, I literally sat there and said, I just don't need Tyler Higbee to score like 17 points, and he comes out there with like a 20-something Berger, and I was like, hilarious. And then another one, I was like, okay, I just don't need Cam Akers to put up like 19. Puts up a 33. I was like, okay, well,
you know what I don't need? The 2 guys who've done nothing all year to have the best games of their life. That's all.
I knew what I needed and didn't need, because I'm like, oh, it's Christmas morning. We had a little bit of time. I checked my teams before the game started. I'm like, oh, I have a really nice team here with like a bunch of Tua, some Aaron Jones, like a bunch of like this team. I was like, Nez, I'm like, look at this best ball mania team. I don't want this one to lose. Just gets wiped by a Tyler Higbee, Cam Akers team out of nowhere. I'm just like, well done. On to next year. Baseball.
So just to clarify too, for Chip, I'm not saying that being anti-pod is like being conspiracy theory. I'm talking about the people who there are people out there on Twitter who literally think that Underdog was rigging the pod groups, which I disagree with. If you don't like the pods, like that's personal preference, and that's totally valid. I think one thing that they could do, but it's kind of hard, like 2 things I was kind of thinking about was like, 1, saving some like wild card spots for each round for the teams that got bad beat. So you have 2 or maybe 1 advanced niche group. Okay. And then you also add in, like, if you didn't, then it's just like they do whenever there's overlay in these tournaments, right? There's wild card cutoffs, and then they advance people from those groups that come in. I think that's a possibility. Another possibility, which I don't think they'll do, but allows for more fairness in advancing, is having more than one BBM $25 entry tournament, and each one is just 1 million to first, and then that way they can have more than one and allow for a better advancement, as far as just as far as getting people less tilted. But I don't think that's That's just one of the things I've been thinking about. It's not anything that I think that they will do. But
what about like 4 or 5 individual tournaments that funnel to one? So instead of having like, I don't know, does it matter? I don't know. Like
that would be cool though. If there was like a prize, from like part of the rake contributed to like that
the 12 BBM winners and the final BBM, and put in a final pot.
And then you have a final table. You have a final table in week 17 with 12 BBM winners.
They could legitimately do that probably with the
a live final.
Like with all the puppies that they run, they could just do like a live final puppy basically with all of the people in the puppies.
One of the big ideas that Mark and I had was if you won like a preliminary tournament, you would then get a seat to like a satellite style final the following season, or like the following like whatever. So you win a regular season pod of 14 weeks or whatever, and then we'll just call that regular season, and then you become like final table the following year, and that grants you live final $10,000 buy-in, whatever it may be, like going forward. I don't know, just another idea.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we can probably
we'll shelf that one.
Tie a bow on that.
Yeah, absolutely. John bringing up one interesting thing. He's just asking about the risk of leaving funds. Like, one thing I'll just say from I've had funds disappear on sites. I don't think Underdog would ever be that site. I think Underdog is so big, transparent, so legally well run in terms of all the red tape they've jumped through to get actual legality in certain states and stuff. I don't think they're ever a site that it's going to be a risk of whatever. But Levitan said it, and I've said it before, that my funds would have been safer on DraftKings and Underdog and poker sites over the last calendar year than they would have been where I put them elsewhere. So, I mean, there's pros and cons. In a bull market run, do you want to have a large amount of money on these platforms? Absolutely not. Do you want to just leave it there? Absolutely not. Last year, yeah, it probably would have been great.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And then there's the whole notion of, Carlos bringing up the taxation stuff, state by state, profession based. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. I am not an expert in that area. Don't ask me.
I do think if we don't realize our gains on Underdog, you still get taxed on the winnings. I've asked a buddy about that. If I just leave all my money on Underdog, is it like a safe haven? Is it like the Cayman Islands of bank accounts that have? And they're still going to make you report your winnings even if you don't take them out.
Well, I'll just report all my losses along with it, and then I'll just even it out. I'll be like, yes,
that's what I do.
Yeah, you see that? Well, just look at all of this.
Well,
look at all the times I haven't won.
You'll see net. It'll show you net.
Yeah, I know. It's just gonna be like, look at all this. You think I'm a good player? No.
Yeah. Have fun filing your taxes, Alan. with that 1099. That's gonna be fun.
Not your keys, not your coins. I mean, it's the most simplistic rule ever, and it's so fucking true. It's just, I've learned it the hard way a whole bunch of times now. So it's just you see a dollar figure in an account that you presume you have ownership to and whatever, even your own bank accounts, right? Like if you go to the bank, you have $5 million in the bank, you go to the bank tomorrow, you can't get that money. You cannot. No. You can't take it out. Good luck. So I mean,
$250K. That's it at one bank.
It really depends. Yeah. It's really bank dependent. It's really whatever.
And anyways, they're not going to give you that. So anyway.
Yeah.
That's been Talking Finance with the Badge Bros.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 2 is complete. Now on to chapter 3, the BR.
So week 17, admittedly, draft volume has been down this week for me. I have done 0 so far. I have not posted a single draft board in the chat. My apologies, but old John Boy will be back in full force soon here. A couple more Christmas events to go for me, but just like everybody thought, the Lions have the second highest team total on the slate in week 17. I was looking at these matchups last night and I was like, dude, I already know what's going to happen in week 17. I spent all off season determining what was going to happen in week 17. I don't even need to study up for the BR this week. I already know, right? I already know I want Chiefs Broncos.
Yeah, Chargers Rams. Yeah,
Chargers Rams.
It's so funny that I didn't even have to look at the lineups because I still had to memorize from preseason.
Right, exactly.
I'm like, I know everybody who's playing everybody. It's the best.
Oh, hey, I got one thing to add. This week, I cannot fucking wait for the conversations associated with if a correlated lineup won or didn't win, and then how it confirms people's priors and doesn't confirm people's priors. Oh my God, it's going to be electric because we've talked about it all season long, how in every isolated week, sometimes you need a 6-leg parlay. Sometimes you still want to build with correlation. Sometimes you whatever. So whatever happens this week, guys, it does not fucking matter. It doesn't matter at all because you still want to build with correlation for week 17 moving forward, even if a one-off wins or even if a correlated lineup wins or doesn't win. It's so funny. It's so good. It's gonna be electric. The takes are gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but no one even understands the niche Twitter that we're in. Like, if you like, it's like, oh, you're on Twitter. It's like, what are you even looking at? It's like, you don't even understand. Like, I'm in a bubble right now, and I just can't wait. Like, you've been scrolling for hours. It's like, and I have more scrolling to do because this is unreal. This is great. The comments are that's when you get a post, and then that's when you're just like half the time just scrolling through comments because they're just hilarious. Yeah. This is gonna be a great time.
Yo, this was mine too, actually. John bringing up that.
I mean,
Jags
if you went Jags
one of
side,
my big targets too.
If you went Jags side, then like, dang, you would have been sitting pretty because I like all the Jags this week.
Yeah. Yo, Mr. Good Boy. We haven't had a Mr. Good Boy update in a minute. He's alive and well. We're back to solid poop, baby. He's doing well. We didn't need the surgery. Saved $12,000. Woohoo!
Huge swing. Huge
big
upswing.
swing. Big upswing.
Yeah, not only you saved $12K, but I think there's a $25K in your future.
Oh.
Yeah. Did they bump the BR back up to 25?
They did. They
did. Let's go, baby.
One thing I found interesting, I know I'm just a quick 10-second tangent. NBA on a Monday with NFL. Wait, no, sorry, it was a Tuesday. Sorry, and Tuesday NBA was like 11,000 people, filled completely. Even filled the other contest. They come to WOD Wednesday, they cut it down again. And they don't have another contest up there. So I'm just like, what are we doing? There's no other sport. And we're like, nope, we're just going to cut NBA down again. So that kind of sucked. But anyway, back to NFL.
Huh.
So
that is interesting. I saw that as well. I didn't get it.
Yeah. Anyway.
One that jumps out to me here is this Lambeau game. I know everybody's going to want to chase the Vikings of last week. I know Jefferson is going to be, in the 101 conversation all week. According to Chad's data, a link to the worksheet in the bio below, and it's tagged in the Discord channel. But Jefferson is basically not falling outside of the top 3. Only 17 drafts thus far because yours truly has not been putting in a huge amount of volume yet. I'll start sharing this week. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I love Cousins outdoor Lambeau Packers must-win situation. I'm not sure.
It's a Vikings must-win situation if you think about it.
That's
we're
true.
Playing. We're playing for the 2 seed. Like we're not playing for nothing. We're trying to get 2 home playoff games before.
The only team that doesn't have anything to play for this week isn't on the main slate, and that's the Titans.
Oh, wow.
And the Jags technically don't have anything to play for. The Jags, they can both lose. Yeah, it's all about next week. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing with the Jags. Is I know they were talking about like you could theoretically rest your starters this week, and it does not matter. So that's
but on the play for it care meter, like Vikings are fine. And it's Packers are like, we got to win out to give ourselves a chance kind of thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
But we can end the Packers playoff chances. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
So it's just, that's why I've been seeing a lot of just tweets, not you in general. I've been seeing this a lot.
I have as well.
How, like, the Vikings don't have anything to play for. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's bogus.
In theory, the Eagles lose and we win. we have all next week to play for if the Eagles lose.
The bye is not clinched.
A lot of moving parts. Granted, I think that's a very small chance if I go look at it. Like the Eagles, I think. But anyway, and I mean
they have to lose the next 2 games, but it's not impossible. Like
a cover boy hurts.
These teams still have to play to win, so that's what's fun. There's not a lot of shit going on right now.
Sneak peek to Lambeau on Sunday is 30. Again, this is Wednesday, but it's 36 degrees and sunny.
Ooh, that's passing weather, baby.
So it's not your typical.
It's not typical
cold
Lambeau in December.
You want to talk about the most frail shit ever? Is like part of my concern. Literally, I was like, oh geez, Justin Jefferson in week 17 has to go to cold ass Lambeau. Like, do I really want that on my finals teams? Now I have no fucking finals team. So
that's one funny thing. I don't know how to feel because Justin Jefferson was my highest exposed player. He was like everything. He was bringing me through all of the finals, everything. So it's like, on the other hand, I don't have like any teams in the finals.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that sucks. But it's like, if I would have got him, all of them would have had the highest exposed player in BBM finals in Justin Jefferson. So it's just kind of like, oh well. And then it's kind of sucks. It's like, wow, you didn't get one of those teams through and you literally went all in on JJ. So it's just kind of like, that sucks. But yeah, that's just funny.
Yo, how do you guys feel about this one? Receiving record narrative. Just like, I know it's like a thing or whatever, but like with the extra game and stuff like that, do you think they should like, is it a record? You know,
well, then we can go back to whatever when the NFL was 10 games and 12 games and 14. Right. So it's like, I could do that for any season. I could go back to Babe Ruth. Like he didn't get to hit against any actual pitcher. So it's like, is he the best? No. Right. So it's just like, we can go back to that, but
I guess I don't think they care.
Yeah, I know.
I know. AB posted something on like Twitter like a while ago when it was like when Diggs or when Hill and Jefferson were at 13 games and AB only played that 13 game season. AB outproduced them in yards and TDs and everything, and he posted it on there like, "Look at me! Like I only played 13. These guys are going to play a whole season. I'm better." It's like, right, okay, Antonio, but anyway,
he's the GOAT. I mean, we don't have to talk about it.
Okay, I led with Jalen Hurts cover boy because I don't know what to do with him this week. Do I think there's a chance he plays because they have so much to play for after losing last week? I think there's a chance. Do I think the team has Super Bowl aspirations and it's more important than winning and getting the bye? Absolutely. So I do not know what to do with Jalen Hurts this week, and quarterback for this slate is a lot thinner than I was anticipating. Just in terms of like, you know, we're kind of getting this upper tier, and then we're getting a wild card in the middle here, and then we're getting kind of like Herbert's failed us recently. Lawrence looks like the best player in the NFL in recent weeks. Cousins, but at Lambeau, we'll see. Goff, probably my favorite value adjusted play on the slate right now at quarterback. And then you can kind of, pick your poison with Brady, banged up Geno. Do we mix in some Tua? Maybe there's a shot in the dark that he plays. I don't know. Where are you guys coming out on quarterback?
Well, I know Hayden Winks just put out a tweet for if you didn't have the Lions at second highest team total of week 17. And then he tweeted the graph and everything. So that's something really interesting to go along with your Goff. Plus they're playing the Bears. Plus they're at the Coors Field of the NFL.
Coors Field of the NFL versus the Bears, baby. Spot.
Yeah, that's super interesting.
And they're still in the playoff hunt. Nobody expected them to be in the playoff hunt too. Yeah. So
I agree with you there. Immediately my eyes went toward Goff. I will say, in my 4 drafts that I have done, I'm 3 of 4 Hurts, because when I saw that, I'm just like, I think one of them is stacked. Otherwise, they're just naked Hurts. I just see what if he's good to go, and then you just need him to do the Hurts thing, and you don't need those wide receivers to bring you there, because with Goddard, maybe it's spread out more. That's my thought. But yeah, I think that's really interesting. Hurts is someone
Teddy's like a 95% chance of starting. I would even call it like 99.
McDaniel said he's starting, I thought.
He said he's in line. He didn't officially rule him out, but he did officially give they labeled Tua as suffered a concussion. So it's his third in like 2 months.
A guy I was going to bring up too that we'll put in the back burners. Christian Watson didn't practice today, and that was another sneaky value in a game there. But
that is a really good point. If he trends upwards, like he's definitely going to be somebody to target.
Yeah, but Hurts is someone for me that I just see at that 25 range. It's just like we could be sitting there like, wow, like he plays and he's Jalen Hurts and he's good to go. Like it's an interesting thing because isn't it? It's throwing shoulder or no? Is it not his throwing shoulder that is the shoulder that's hurt?
I thought it was his opposite shoulder. I thought it was non-throwing shoulder.
Okay, yeah. So that's what
I thought it was when he drove down in the ground. It was his left shoulder.
Okay, yeah. So
I thought that's what it was.
Again,
but I don't
know. So out of the weeds last week that I was like to throw in some nonstop and not really look at anything. So yeah, it's really interesting that if he goes there and he's a full go, like that just seems like the steal of the board right away, does it not? That Hurts at 25.
It's his throwing shoulder.
Oh, it is? Okay, wow.
According to RotoWire on Sleeper.
Yeah, we're getting mixed reports here. Brett was saying what I was saying. We're getting Sleeper saying throwing shoulder.
Yeah,
we'll go Sleeper. They're smarter than us.
Yeah, that's at least what they're saying. But I like taking him because you have some pretty decent swaps. Like for one, I think Daniel Jones is like a decent swap option, and Jared Goff doesn't get drafted sometimes. Or you could just swap to the freaking 90% Jalen Hurts himself, Gardner Minshew. Like,
goddamn right.
Like why? Like what is so wrong with that?
Exactly.
Seriously, like so I think he's a great pick in these, especially if we get some bullish news that he plays, because I mean, definitely seems like he's going to push to play.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I think yeah, I also think he's going to.
No, don't do that.
Live drop.
Whoa.
All right, well, fuck the BR this week.
Everybody's favorite time of the show.
Wait, where? What?
Let's see it. Love to see it.
It's just
Big
cash
drop.
slates.
What?
Cash slates. So
they will my heart.
Well, now we get to set ADP.
No, I know. Well, they're not going to set it on the cash, are they?
They'll use the 12 gamers to set ADP, I bet. Which is smart. The 12 teamers, I mean, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Rudman dropping the hammer. Attorney's coming, baby. Let's go.
Rudman, if I can get your attention real quick, maybe we do a little like big fly, $250 entry, $100 entry tournament for baseball.
Oh,
just throwing it out there.
Top 5 ADP. Give it to me. What do you guys think? I know we're in that, but come on, we got it. We're baseball guys.
Aaron Judge 101, and it's not close.
Correct.
Really?
Well, yeah, correct.
Oh yeah, 100,000%. Like not close.
Acuna.
He's top 3. He's 3 in their ADP.
Oh, I was talking like.
You know who's going to be the biggest value? Juan Soto. Juan Soto in the second round.
He's 2.
The biggest value.
He's second
in the second round. In the second
round. I thought he was
going
to be like falling to like 8 or something.
Why would Juan Soto fall?
I don't know. I thought because of the way. Dude, his counting stats look so bad last year.
They did, but it's Juan Soto, and
I just feel like he was like
it
was like a national.
Based.
He was playing for the Nationals, and it was kind of. Really feel like he just did not give an F, and then he really started to turn it on. But
real quick,
actually, we can pitch Rudman on another thing. Let's pitch Rudman on 2 more.
Yeah,
things
while we got him.
Okay. Yeah, while we got him. Single entry high dollar contest for baseball
tournament.
Yeah, tournament. Single bullet.
Oh, I don't know that.
Let's go.
Oh,
why not?
Dude.
Just one. Just throw one out there. And then here's the other one. You want to pump your MLB product? Badge Bros, Arizona, spring training. We got a booth outside Diamonds. We go game hopping. We're wearing the Underdog gear.
We're vlogging the entire thing.
We're vlogging the whole thing.
I was thinking Bradenton so I could see the Pirates, but that Arizona works too. That's fine.
Just
Florida's so spread out.
Florida's
so spread out. In Arizona for spring training, it's like a 15-minute drive between like 15 different parks. We could hit 3 games a day promoting the Underdog platform. Rodman, put it on your radar, boy. Send the boys.
Boys
are going to spring training.
Took you in this draft, bud. Took you on him. Stacking the Padres, baby. He's just like.
We'll be boots on the ground interviews over the bullpen. Boots on the ground interviews over the bullpen.
Who are you guys with the badge?
You Darvish, what are you working on down there? You know?
Yeah, just Just sit on that for a minute, Nick.
It's on the radar. There we go. That's all we need, baby.
Oh my God. All right. Okay.
All right. Back to the
Anyways,
VR.
Sorry. Yeah, we got to go back to
VR.
football.
I don't know if my brain can. Yeah, I don't know if my brain can adjust, dude. This is what I've been. Oh, I need to get out of this draft.
Okay,
I'm
here.
in a draft right now.
Before we go back to BR real quick, give us here. I'll pull it up. Is there a rankings for MLB right here already?
Yes.
So Judge, Soto, Acuna, Vlad, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Julio Rodriguez. That's pretty fun. That's
Bryce Harper.
No ADP. That makes sense.
And
no timetable.
Here's I'm hearing things.
Myron Buxton, 66 ADP. That'll be moved up.
Here's a little side by side that's kind of fun. Fernando Tatis wild card.
Tatis is an interesting one because it's like when he's got to serve a suspension, right?
We stacking O's?
Yeah, 20 more games. Look at this.
Gunnar Henderson
22.
with a 62 ADP.
22 for Trey. Wow.
So I'm just gonna say this. I don't have anything like confirmed. I think we should be drafting Bryce Harper. I'm just saying.
For sure. Yeah.
He DH'd with a torn UCL. Like he'll probably DH again. Like, you think the Phillies give a shit about defense? Like, they went to the World Series with Nick Castellanos in right field.
At that price, yeah, 100%. If he starts coming up into anything in the top 10, you all can have Bryce Harper. I will not.
Oh, he won't be that high.
No, sorry,
he won't
top
be that
10
high.
rounds, 10 rounds, or anything like that. Like,
on a
that just seems like Tatis over again, and we're taking Tatis in the third and the second and third.
Yeah, except Harper doesn't have an affinity to like PEDs and reckless activity like Tatis and his Tatis does.
No, I totally. I'm not trying to. I agree with you with the take.
I know.
Especially with it being a great like value and all that. I should say if the price was totally different, I'd be totally out. I love the Harper, and I think that's a thing that I touched on as soon as it's done, is like getting these unique pieces that people aren't going to have that much of and being overweight to them on the back end of your team, and then having those differentiators in the playoffs. Think that like O'Neal Cruz was putting up points in the best ball playoffs. Like, he was putting up points, and he was.
You're goddamn right he was.
So it's
goddamn right.
And people are.
I tried to tell y'all. I think
I
the best thing O'Neal Cruz.
I'm pretty sure
I know you did.
All right, I had to reel this back in. You guys got too excited. I got like a little excited. You guys got too excited. I had to reel it back in. We're in a football draft now.
All right.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Aaron Judge, I don't see him. I don't see DeGrom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's real quick.
Shout out Moxieland getting that red badge there. Looks good on you.
All right.
Looks good on you. Let's go.
I want to just say Justin Jefferson 101 over McCaffrey is a huge mistake by the field. That is not good.
Yeah.
And I hope it stays like that for as long as possible. That's bad.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there.
Any projection system has McCaffrey as like 4 points ahead of Jefferson.
Projections are for the fish, so I mean,
that's true. Throw them out the window. Never mind.
No, I definitely agree with you. If you're just looking off projection, but I mean, if you kind of go down the board for running back too, it just seems like there's also some interesting names in the back end of drafts, and wide receiver kind of gets thin with the no Tua.
Dude, I don't. Here's the thing, man. That's deserved. Niners are so good on defense. And
who do you guys like here? Tyreek?
Amon-Ra
over Tyreek. All right.
So here's the thing. I think people are scared. Like Numi just said, like no Tua for the Dolphins. Like Teddy Bridgewater is 99% Tua. I'm not scared of that at all.
He had 325 yards the game that Tua was out earlier this season. 325 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I think 1 touchdown went to each of the wide receivers. I'm not really concerned about Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, me neither. So I'm excited. I'm
not. It's just going into Foxborough doesn't bode well for Teddy Bridgewater in my mind.
Agreed there. I think there's a tier break here. And I think by taking Amon-Ra, it sets up better to be a Goff team unless you want to go naked Fields. But I think there's a big tier break here with Austin Eckler.
Yeah. I'm good on this.
I like Eckler too. Someone that I did at one of these at like 3:30 in the morning, and I saw James Conner like initially, and I'm just like, well, I mean, isn't it against the Atlanta defense? You just basically play anyone, and Conner getting literally the role that we would want over and over and over. So that's something related to Teddy.
What are you trying to pull up here?
Vikings legend Teddy Bridgewater.
Have you seen this? Have you seen this picture before?
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna get us thrown off of YouTube. What are you doing? I see it, John. You can see it from the fucking moon. Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater. You're not gonna bet on this guy? He broke the PSM. You're not gonna bet on Teddy Bridgewater? Look at this guy.
Oh, my entire organization, or the organization I cheer for, bet on Teddy Bridgewater, and that didn't bode well for us. So.
2 gloves Teddy? You're not gonna bet on 2 gloves Teddy after that?
Jeez.
Now you're gonna make me go find my Teddy 2 gloves jersey, my shirt, everything, dude. I had all the merch. I had all the merch for Teddy.
I love it.
Jesus Christ.
He was there during the outside Gopher days when we had to play at our freaking college stadium.
One thing that I wish I could see, like almost like the JFK files, is like I would love. This is really sick to see like the Teddy injury whenever it happened on the practice field, because people said that players were like throwing up.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
You didn't? Didn't they show it?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I swear I've seen it. Maybe I haven't. I swear, as a Vikings fan, I swear I put the pain through my I swear I've seen it.
Then I would like to see it. I love Jared Goff for us, not right here, but just with this team, I think he's gonna go ape.
I think it sets up well for us. I think we could make a case for like a Herbert and take Allen here. I like Waddle too.
I don't know, man. I don't think that the Chargers are going to light up the Rams.
We could do a Garrett Wilson.
I've been taking Garrett Wilson.
We could do a Garrett Wilson DK Metcalf mini.
Oh my god!
I at least like Garrett Wilson to start. I don't, dude. The Chargers are so fraudulent. Like it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like, and the Rams are playing inspired right now. Like they're not like the worst defense. Like at a certain point, we need to like acknowledge the fact that the Chargers are not as good as we think, and it might be. And I don't think it's a Herbert problem. I think the wide receivers I think are just not as good as we like to.
Okay, we get. Do you want to get little fancy boy syndrome and go with like a mini stack here with DK Garrett Wilson, something like that? Play off that game environment. We'll go Goff with Amon-Ra.
I do.
Okay,
they're at home. I know sauce is sauce, but I really think that if there's like anybody who is matchup proof, it's and I know DK didn't smash the slate, but he didn't bomb like so I'm a big fan of DK. I think it's just kind of ignoring the matchup and just taking the guy that is going to be funneled volume. Yeah, give me that.
This is such a good analogy here with baseball coming through with the Kool-Aid Man gif, like just him busting through the wall as soon as he hears baseball's available.
Yeah, he wasn't even listening, and then he somehow got his spidey senses tingling.
Yeah,
what were you gonna
say? The Teddy Bridgewater. It was his injury. Even freaked out his surgeon.
That's like really.
Holy
like that shit.
It was like horribly grotesque. Is one of the
9 more for the $3 MLB. 9 more. Get in there.
They said the first pitcher is at 36. That's wild.
Yeah. Well, I forget who it was.
We're going to be talking about this a lot. But the way pitcher shook out last year and the way the scoring system is, like pitcher was so much more valuable in the scoring system of the playoff contest than in the season-long contest that like pitcher being kind of pushed down on Underdog makes a lot of sense, but maybe not that far, right? I mean,
I didn't even check the roster format. I wonder if it's still 20 players.
Okay, what do you guys feel? Do we feel what we saw from Tyler Higbee last week is something that's projectable to happen again as a bring back there? We could go wild card Taysom. I
kind of like Taysom. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, let's take Jared Goff first because he's already got
first.
tight end. Yes, we've made that. We could go. Okay, so we got a lot of interesting avenues. We go bring back on Komet, bring back on Higbee. We got a Dallas Goddard sitting there of like, hey, wild card if Hurts comes back this week, and then we got my boy Taysom.
Hey, Nez,
I don't know.
Where the you guys make the pick here.
I think I'm Taysom, man.
Okay.
Was
Interesting.
MLB
doesn't week
20
17 Taysom just like doesn't that just like sound correct?
Yeah. I mean,
You know, like it's the one who was promised. Like Taysom Hill breaks BBM. It's
right.
It's
Yeah.
happening.
All right. I like it.
I'm sorry,
Hey,
Newman, what were you going
Was
to say?
MLB always 20 rounds?
It was 20 rounds last year, yeah.
I thought it was 18.
No, it went from 18 to 20.
No, yeah, the football was.
So yeah, it's still the same then for it's 3-3, 3-1, 10.
Yeah, it's Cole at 36.
And-
Man,
and
how
I-
about
and
the
I'm glad it's
Rangers making
20.
a
It
little
needed
noise
to
with
be.
their rotation?
Yeah, getting DeGrom, getting Eovaldi. You can't even
Andrew
help
Heaney.
yourself to get away from the baseball talk.
Yes,
I
36,
know.
40,
So back to
36, 47.
I
Wow.
just love baseball so much.
Oh, dude, it's God's game.
Luis
Somebody
Castillo.
asked
What
me
happened to
on
Luis
Christmas
Castillo?
because on Christmas I gave the boys like I have 3 nephews that are under 3, and I gave them baseball gloves for Christmas, and we're playing ball in the house and we're slinging it around and
In the
that
house,
sort of
by
thing.
the way, like what kind of like if I like definition of fun uncle, like playing ball in the house. What's the one thing that you were always told as a kid? Like, don't throw that ball in the house. John is doing. He sent us a video in our group chat. He's doing wild picks in the kitchen. Like,
Yeah.
if he doesn't clinch that ball, which why wouldn't he? Because he's John Boy. That ball is soaring through a window, like psycho, man. Anyways,
oh man, but just so fun. Like just like, and then I think it was my mom who asked me like, what are your like favorite like games like ever, right? Because like all I've done my life is like play games, right? You know, like played hockey through like university, played baseball through university, like that sort of stuff. Then played poker, then played, you know, super invested in this, played the season long stuff. And I was like, yeah, like it's undoubtedly baseball. Like I don't know why. It's just it's just I can't explain it. It's baseball, man.
Having a baseball game was just the best. I will never rekindle that same feeling as having a baseball game. I don't know.
I got a good story for you. My buddy's 30th birthday a couple years back. We grew up playing in his parents had like this kind of elongated backyard, and where the shed was and the house was made for like ground rule doubles and home runs. It made it like super good. So for his 30th birthday, he was like, yo, like everybody's going bars, games, going out like this sort of stuff. He's like, yo, mom and dad, can we come back home and play backyard baseball again? And they're like, oh yeah, for sure. And his mom like, you know, made jello, cooked up like the grill, like all this sort of stuff. And it was like we were 15 all over again, like 13 all over again.
Wow.
CMC 101 here for us this week.
Yep.
Nez said it off the hop. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I also real quick, GA. Man,
we're converting you, man.
Summer. We'll see you in the summer.
We're converting you guys.
I was on the elevator and I saw my maintenance guy, who I always say hi to, but he never really talks. But I guess he was feeling cheery today, so he talked to me. And English is his second language, but I was wearing a Steelers shirt before. He goes, Steelers. I'm like, yeah. He's like, no Cowboys. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I follow him. But he's like, he's fucking losers. I've never talked to this guy, and like, but I always say hi. And then the first thing he said to me, he calls the Cowboys.
That's how you bond. You both are like, no Cowboys.
Dude, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Yo, Justin, what's up? Justin's in here at the 102.
Okay.
Yo, Carlos in here too. I know Tiny Builds is in here. I just don't know screen name in the chat right now.
He's Tiny Builds in the Discord. So
okay.
Yeah.
I did a mitten 2 this morning with Carlos. I hope I didn't snipe him. I know I'm the worst. Anytime people see me in a playoff lobby, they just start shitting their pants. They just,
I hate it.
God,
I absolutely hate it.
He's gonna snipe my snacks. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Sharp my ass. This guy's the worst. Baseball was the absolute worst with this guy.
Oh man, one game away from Williamsport.
No, I know that still haunts you, dude. I know that still haunts you. Oh my God.
Wow.
This is good.
Don't Dupin Geyser me, bro.
Yes, that's Justin's last name.
That's hilarious.
That's very good.
All right, so
Devontae Adams.
I know, right? Doesn't it kind of like
It's such a natural.
roads,
It's such a natural bring back and like
We
whatever.
can forgo it if you want.
No, I'm into it.
I think all
Man,
roads lead back to Devontae.
yeah, I like that. And I don't mind going naked fields here and just
Neither
trying
do I.
something a little different.
Komet will always be there too if we want to stack him, but I like Fields. He's the second highest projected QB.
I honestly wouldn't mind
Okay.
even if it was just me, I wouldn't even mind going Kittle there too and just getting 2 Niners.
That's interesting.
Niners?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
CMC and Kittle are
You
definitely in play. Like Sans Debo, like that's the offense.
we saw it in the winter last
Yo,
week.
what's up,
Granted, it was a
Clay?
little different, but
GM Clay.
JJ Hawk with no run back in the winning lineup for our boy Eagles. Like,
Yeah, good point.
Just pulling out things like that. You just need those 2 guys to bring in the touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, and then catch 10 receptions for however many yards and get a nice touchdown at the end for JJ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's okay to double stack if you. I would probably have another. Like, I would still try to stack my quarterback in that same.
It would be easy to put Purdy on that team. You know what I mean? It really would. I mean, just say CMC catches a touchdown out of the backfield and Purdy throws 2 more to Kittle. Like,
yeah. Man, I saw something the other day. Devontae Adams, games under 40 yards in the last 4 years with Aaron Rodgers was like 1, I think. And then games under 40 yards this season was 4.
Say that again?
Devontae Adams, games under 40 yards over the last 4 seasons with Aaron Rodgers was 1. Games under 40 yards this year with Derek Carr, 4. Yeah, don't quote me on it, but it was like very similar to that. Yo, GMs, baby.
I really, oh boy, man, Derek Carr, he burnt me so good. I thought for sure that he was underrated, that things were going to align for him. The futures odds were in his favor. He had a loaded weapon, loaded team around him. I placed big bets on Hunter Renfrow just being attached to what I believe that high-powered offense. And hey, he got there last week. Finally.
Oh, I put as we were leaving Colorado, I put some bets down. Just like futures bets.
Nice.
Yeah, futures. I put some on the Vikes. You know, why not? I had a free $50
$2,200 on my book. Was it what was it for you?
I was just doing literally like FanDuel because that's what I had money on, so I didn't want to go and like.
Do you remember what your odds were though? Or
I'm trying to get it because I'm now in a state. It's now not letting me just go into my fucking bets.
Yeah.
Really? DK will let you. That's where FanDuel's a little stingy, I guess. Yeah, I can go on DK Sportsbook anytime. I just can't bet.
Yeah, I just want to see it. But then I also, you know me, I literally did it for Nez. I put a Pirates World Series bet down for $5.
Easiest $5,000 you'll ever make.
Yeah, right. Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I put that down, put some fun things, but I sent it to Nez. It was literally the Knicks were winning on Christmas Day by a large amount, and I had a $10 bet for like 4.7K. The Knicks lose it in the fourth quarter, and I lose out on that bet. I'm just like, oh, I hate betting. I'm never gonna.
What do you guys like here? What do you think about loading up on the other side of that game? You don't like it this week, eh?
It's tough against San Francisco, but I definitely see it.
All right, give me a name.
Godwin.
Oh, dude, I just threw up. Chris Godwin?
I don't know. Must-win scenario, division in control there. I don't know. I don't mind it. Godwin kind of seems nice too. Man, there's just some interesting names buried here. Like Mike Williams buried down here. DeAndre Hopkins buried down here. Ramondre Stevenson. How about a little Ramondre mini here?
I can go for that.
I kind of like that. I think
that way we get that. Yeah, like you said, you get the mini.
He was my second highest owned player last week. I
hate the goddamn Buccaneers, by the way. They play just the most pathetic brand of football. Like Tom Brady with the grossest 280 yards passing you'll ever see. I don't know how he got to 280. Like I swear they just made that up. I think he's just trolling. I didn't get any notification like that.
Oh, Brett Boy doing the Lord's work here. Yeah, 51 of us chilling with the brigade right now. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Actually, shout out Dark Sheep to the best comment. I just saw it this morning when I was ripping our bio to put it into this thing. He dropped a comment the other night that my internet cut out in the playoff one right while you guys were doing player takes, just because I was so egregiously upset that you guys think players actually matter. So it was I can't remember the wording of it, but it was so good. It was very funny.
It was on the which one was it on? It was on the playoff.
It was on the playoff video. Yeah,
I'll
post it on the internet later.
Yeah,
I'll post it on the internet. He says
on the interwebs.
Trying to find a GIF right now while we wait for Cole Kmet to make it back to us.
Yeah, LED saying so many Ramondre and Tyreek minis. I like that. I think Ramondre is getting. I think Ramondre is getting pushed down a little bit because of his performance last week. I don't see much different in terms of his role and his usage, especially if Dame Harris is out. I think he became a really, really good play on Saturday/Sunday drafts of last week when Dame Harris was officially ruled out. It made a little bit. Yeah, on the internet. You
can post it on the line.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We got Cole Kmet or Higbee?
Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
So I had a fun naked Fields teams that I think we were going to build out. Cole Kmet.
Yeah, I mean, we still can. I mean,
no, I'm giving you crap. I like the pick. I like Kmet here. So I do.
Yeah.
I'm just going off of your literally right before planning out a naked Fields team and then taking that. So, which is, there you go. You don't pigeonhole yourself to a build. You say
this would be interesting.
This could be fun naked Fields, and then you take Cole Kmet as the last pick.
Let's see. Justin Fields stacked 29% of the time, but run back 47% of the time.
There we go. We're unique, baby.
Only 17% of the draft so far. Just interesting to see the stack number overall kind of down just based on the combinations available. This one surprises me. The Amon-Ra only stacked 12% of the time. I think Amon-Ra Fields is a really fun start from the 6-7, but I
think that's that run back percentage.
Yeah, and then I also think the Amon-Ra with Goff late is, if this is going to be the way it is right here, I think I prefer the Goff late. You know what I mean?
Oh,
granted,
yeah,
both numbers are.
Goff late feels just so good. So good.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say gross for some reason. I was going to be like, wait, what?
Jeez.
No, but then you do Chef's Kiss. Yeah. Nah, I'm me? I'm a Pirates fan, not me. I deal with a lot of gross things.
Goff is the man.
Doesn't it kind of feel like second coming of that week we all slammed the Minnesota and Lions game? Was that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And we all were like, Lions at home, Minnesota's coming to town. Both defenses looked bad. Doesn't it feel like the second coming of that versus Fields and the Bears?
I don't remember that game. I have a short memory. Hold on, let me.
No? It flopped. Didn't it?
I don't think it flopped. I just think it didn't turn into the game we wanted it to turn into. But I think it still did well enough for you to get home. But it was the game everybody that week was targeting. I think it was week 15.
I'm about to let memory serve me right here.
Week 15, we played
week 14.
14. It was 23. It was 23-34.
Yeah.
That was the game where it was just a bad game.
Yeah, it wasn't the game you needed because the afternoon popped off with the Chiefs and the Hurts broke the slate with the Hurts doubles that week. But everybody was,
and that was Evan. I think I was in Disney that week. I think that's why I don't really remember it.
Yeah,
was that Evan Ingram week?
I think that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that the Evan Ingram week?
But just for my money, it feels similar to that because we saw this slate and we saw a super high team total from the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Chiefs there. And we were like, hey, where are the spots to get contrarian? And then everybody was like, in the first two rounds, if you didn't target those teams, you were targeting this game environment. And for me, that's kind of what this one feels like so far. When you have Fields, Amon-Ra, like these guys pushed up, Jefferson, all going in the first 8 picks, maybe first 10 picks, something like that. Just feels similar. I don't know. I'm just comp guy, right? Just making a comp.
I see Jordan making a decent point that I wonder if anybody else is going to cling to, which is that the Bears secondary slowed down Hurts and Josh Allen. I think part of that was probably the weather a little bit, and I just think there's just so many different ways you can beat the Bears, and the Eagles do have that element of smash mouth football, which is nice. So I think we're gonna see Goff go off.
Oh, here we go, friends and family.
Let's go, Bop.
Bop's in there. Paul's in there. I think we know who Fuzzy is. Tiny Builds is always in the Discord. I think we know who Fuzzy is, but love the Christmas spirit. Love the Christmas spirit going with the red nose and the green backdrop. Man, I still got to make my video. Finally. I still got to make my video on optimal. Yeah, there we go. Chris is Fuzzy. We knew that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think this is going to be our last
Never overweight
draft.
can always break the slate, baby. Put it on the T-shirts.
I do glad if we're talking about Chubb there, I kind of like Chubb this week.
Yeah, that's interesting. What Bob brings up is, I think one thing that's really big, and we said this about the weather last week as well, is like double counting both matchups and double counting weather. Most projection models, like they build it in a pretty effective manner. So double counting it is going to do yourself a disservice. Yeah, I'm slightly afraid of Sauce for sure. Especially the thing that's different. I think it's Kelsey for me. I think it's a first 3 pick this week of McCaffrey, Jefferson, then Kelsey for me.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, anyways, the thing that's different with the Sauce matchup for me this week opposed to in weeks past with DK is primarily a perimeter receiver. And if they want to, they do move them from side to side. But like if they want to just be like, yo, Sauce is staying there, just stay there. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't wouldn't surprise me. It feels like that's what they should do because it's like who else do they have? But it just doesn't seem like the way that they actually do it in practice for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility, but I think I'm
taking suggestions here.
AJ Brown or James?
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try to push Hurts.
Okay.
Oh.
McCaffrey, Fields start there. I mean, what are some of like the super teams that aren't going to be available this week? I guess if a Mahomes Kelsey, as always, but
I've
does
seen Mahomes
feel like
Kelsey a couple times.
Oh wow!
Not
so
for
it does feel like this week almost everything is obtainable. You know, because you could stack with anybody you want. Okay, do we take Hurts here or do we get greedy and keep pushing?
I think we get greedy, but
all right.
I think we get greedy.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's
James
Conner Cook,
Connor or Devontae?
I like Connor.
Okay.
Connor's role right now is ridiculous. I don't really care who's playing quarterback.
It's true.
Exactly.
I don't care who's playing quarterback. He's playing 90% of snaps. He's getting 6 catches a game. Like his role is ridiculous.
It's so good.
He has the role that I think the community thinks Saquon had for the entire season.
Great fucking
now,
point.
Of now, recently. Granted, Saquon did go off last week and did get there, but to Mark's point of him not getting the receptions that he's used to getting and not getting the every down roll and Breida coming in, they're just like, yo, Connor, just get out there and go. Like if you're healthy, you're playing. So
it reminds me of Pittsburgh Connor. The year he came back from cancer and he just balled the F out.
Yeah, he's a good. I mean, when he's healthy, he's a good back.
Oh, he's the most efficient goal line back in the last 5 years.
Yeah, and nothing to talk bad about James Conner.
Yeah, I thought last week's matchup was going to be tough for him. I'm not going to lie. And
do we get greedy again?
Now, who does Jake have at wide receiver?
Yeah, JJ.
You know what? No, we're not getting. I'm making the definitive call here.
Okay.
We got greedy with it. We pushed it to the fourth round.
Who does he have? Does he have a Charger?
Think Jacobs.
Okay, we're good.
No, I don't think Jacobs going to take him necessarily, but I don't think there's anyone here that warranted us risking it.
Exactly. 22 versus 27, and the people on the board, you weren't getting a value to be like, there wasn't a big value or someone there that was willing for you to do it. So it's like, I'm going to get someone here that I'm adequate with in the fifth, that it doesn't matter if I take them in the fourth or fifth. So yeah, lock down your guy.
Did Cam Akers go?
No, he's right there.
No, Cam Akers is right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, fuck no.
What about that?
No, dude is dust. Absolutely not. Yes, Kamara sucks, dude. He's
all right. Give me a name.
They were giving David Johnson receptions over
him.
Cam motherfucking Akers, man. Let's go.
Cam Akers. Over
It's
my
his time.
dead body,
Chargers-
we're gonna take Cam.
Chargers
We're gonna draft
suck.
Cam Akers over Alvin Kamara. Fuck week 17 and everything it stands for.
Dude, Kamara sucks. Akers rules. Akers is back. Baker's got the Rams on a whole nother level, whole nother echelon. Just make sure that you split this with me.
What do we think about a little Mike Williams bring back off of that?
I could go for it. I think.
What else do you guys like better?
Well, I just think Mike Williams can blow up certified.
100%. He has the type of profile to put up a winning score that the winners did last week. Like top three.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%. So I kind of like him there. Numi, you mentioned Godwin. I just, like I said, I the way that the Patriots like make their living on offense just like grosses me the hell out. So I have last draft. You mentioned Godwin. Are you feeling bullish on him? Yeah. What did I say?
The Patriots. I was like, they play the Pats. I was confused. I'm not bullish on them. It's just at this spot, especially here. I wouldn't mind it. He's doing popping in projections. I mean, it's Carolina. I mean, it's not someone I'm like totally on. It's just at this spot, it's someone I would consider, and I probably would click a little bit. But I mean, I'm down with Williams.
I like Mike Williams.
Like I think my point I just said is Mike Williams. There you go. That's the profile. That's the profile. If you just click on him there, he has the 20, the 8, the 9, but then has the ability to put. Not that Godwin can't, but he's more of that boomer bust profile where you're hoping he just puts up that 20 to 25 point game, and you need him. You know what I mean? Where Godwin just seems more of a floor play, if that makes sense. I don't know. So.
Yeah. Godwin feels like a full PPR, like 80 and a touchdown. It feels
he needs
like
that Nick Chubb TD regression to get there. So
yeah, right.
But yeah, no, I'm
not like bags. Love it,
man. That was unreal. When the second one hit, I'm like, oh, that's fun. And then all of a sudden, when I see someone tweet like, all right, this Shane Zylstra shit is pissing me off. I'm like, no way he scored again.
Yeah.
Technically,
Herbert
Shane
doubles.
Zylstra was the Taysom Hill your play. He's the guy you needed. Like he was the guy you should have been drafted all the time.
Oh man, you love to see it. All right, gentlemen. I know we got some hard outs today. We still got I still got a Christmas party tonight.
Wow.
Yeah, we're pushing this late in the season. Actually,
holiday party you can call it. Yeah.
Yeah. It starts late. It's like the bros Christmas of like, you know, some high school buddies, some college buddies, some baseball buddies. It's pretty fun. But we do like a white elephant gift exchange, and every single year I do the exact same thing. I buy a signed photo of a player who wasn't that relevant, but we'll get some laughs. So I've done like Grady Sizemore in the past. I've done Brandon Roy. I've done some fun ones like that. So
dude, rip Brandon Roy in this.
I was gonna say that's a pretty big one.
What could have been? What could have been for Brandon Roy? Oh man, that one's tough.
We're doing that one tonight. Looking forward to that. And it's a big Christmas time around here is the World Juniors Classic. It's like a Christmas tradition. Watch World Juniors hockey. It's a big one, and that game's at 3:30. So everybody get together. Yeah. How many of those buddies watch the street? Exactly 0 of them. Only the sickos on the internet watch the stream. I'll tell anybody.
Vance Worley.
Wow.
That's a good
I have
name drop.
I have a Lou Ford signed hat. If anyone remembers Lou Ford.
That's sick.
I also have a hat with all of the piranhas. If anyone remembers our nickname that we back in 2009 for the Twins, we had Punto, Luis Castillo. Just like the piranhas that just Nick Punto and the boys. All right, that's enough Twins talk.
Punto. Oh man.
Oh hey, what up? Shout out Jacob there. He says that he's in the Discord and that's his name on Underdog and
we'll say what's up, Discord,
man. But yeah, come chat.
There we go.
Glad that you're in here though and hanging out with us. That's awesome.
Beautiful. And Chip, we might scratch that hoops itch a little bit later. Not sure yet. Numi was throwing out some feelers. Maybe we'll see. Stay tuned in the Discord. We will see. That's all I got. You guys got anything else to add? We'll be back tomorrow and Friday.
Only thing I have to add is he was a little more relevant than the people we were naming. Just a tad more relevant.
He should be a Hall of Famer too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we won't get into that. Yeah. A lot of people should be Hall of Famers in baseball, but we digress.
All right. Yeah. Carlos, we missed you too. It's good to be back. It's good to have the three of us back together too. There's been so many moving parts and stuff. Numi's been away, Ned's been away. Yeah, so much happening. So it's good to have it back, and we'll be back tomorrow in the following name. Same badge time, same badge channel. Okay. You guys are going crazy here.
Well, they're speaking my language. Carl Pavano? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm trying to wrap it up. You guys keep clicking the chat.
I'll be in the $3 12 team cash lobbies for baseball if you guys want to join.
There we go. Get that fired up.
Let's get in there. Use baseball sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not out yet, is it?
450 subs. Thank you all so much. Do us a favor. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Hit that follow. Hit that little bell thing that John now knows what does. Didn't know before. If you're not playing on Underdog Fantasy, what are you doing with your time? Come on. Use promo code BADGE. Sign up. $100 match deposit bonus. We have planted the seed with Rudman that, spring training, Badge Bros, meetup, maybe, question mark. Might be happening one time. And we'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk a little more ball. We'll have a little more dialed show. As always, thank you so much for being here. Love y'all. Everybody's favorite time of the show? The end. Peace.
Bye, guys.